Alright. Sorry, the music's a little loud, right? Hello, friends. How's it going? Let's see who is here. Captain Mal, hello. The Adept, hello. Crispy Senpai Ru, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te fue en el ensamblaje del Heavy Grail? Gotson, hello. Scopelli, hello, hola. Use Chopstick, hello, hiya. Estudio cafeinado son como los beats del mundo de los keyboards. Hay mejores fabricantes como qwertykeys y Matrix Labs, pero la gente se deja guiar por el precio. Nice. Nick, hello, Mr. Nick, how are you? Alright, so, let's see, get this fan on, it's a little hot. If it's too much background noise, let me know. Okay, so today, we have another keyboard build. Today's build is going to be the qwertykeys Neo80 CU. And I'm sure you know about the qwertykeys Neo series in general. Just overall, they have pretty premium looking choices of various layouts now at quite affordable prices. And so you know, they can start all the way from 100 and some to, in this case, the Neo80 CU goes up to around 210. That's the starting price. That's approximately where they said it starts. And they are slated to begin sales in about 5 to 6 days, right? Bien, me tomó 6 horas más o menos, pero feliz con el resultado. Oh, qué bueno, qué bueno. Sí se tardó mucho, eh. But yeah, so I'll give you more info on the Neo80, but let's check it out. But before we get started with the Neo, last night I built this keyboard right here, which was the Atelier Haven 60, right? And so after the stream concluded, I decided to just spend some of my free time to mess around with it a little bit. And I got around to building it in on top mount. And so I just wanted to maybe show y'all for those of you who are here. But basically yesterday we had built it with a gasket mount plate and a gasket mount, you know, build. But then I decided to do it in top mount. It basically required me to take it all apart and put it back together again, but this time in top mount, because they basically have a top mount plate and a gasket mount plate. And so I put it back together, the same build, like MX clears and top mount. And so I personally actually think I like it better on top mount personally. That said, I think the amount of rigidity between two is actually kind of similar. The gasket mount, the gaskets themselves were on the stiffer side, so it didn't feel nearly as I guess like flexy as you would imagine. But you know, I think you know, I think let me just type on it and let that speak for itself. So let me get a typing thingy up. And let's stop that music for a second. And let me adjust the mic over. Okay, so let's just try out the Haven 60 in top mount. So Haven 60 in top mount, MX clears on a full alu plate. And then we can go ahead with the Neo build, okay? All right. So pretty nice. I personally like the more sort of slightly more amplified sound of the top mount on this board. So yeah, I think I like it. I like it better compared to before. I'll just go through the alphas and the mods. And I think the spacebar has a lot more oomph this time. So yeah, just kind of wanted to demo this before we started on the other build. But for those of you who were here last night for the Haven 60 build, or if you just go ahead and check out the VOD, you can hear it with the gasket mount. And so yeah, it's a bit different. Definitely more oomph on the top mount. I like the sound better. It's a little cleaner, I think. The spacebar in particular, I think, had a good amount of improvement. There is some introduction of a little bit more resonance on the side of top mount, like on doing top mount, especially like on the top rows. But I personally think it's not like detrimental in particular to the sound. So, all right. So you know, just to cover that, and let's get around to doing this this other build. So let's get started with the Neo80 CU. All right, so let's take it out of the case. So let's begin unpacking some of this stuff. This feels like foam, silicone gaskets, feet, bump-ons, screws, among other things. It looks like cable and hardware. I'll leave this in the bag. Have our Neo stabilizers. And then, so for plate offerings, I did see that they have aluminum, polypropylene, PP, carbon fiber, PEI, which is, I think, some other plastic, right? Which has recently been more popular. And then there's glossy chamfer alu plate, which I'm not sure if I have here, but this is the PEI plate. Kind of has this amber yellow color, almost like, very much like polycarb, but maybe a little bit denser than polycarb. And then, oh look, looks like we have an alu plate as well. So yeah, Ultem, indeed. I think Ultem is a proprietary name, right? This is the, I think, chamfer alu plate, I assume, because it has this chamfer that's kind of like reflective. Has a variety of flex cuts, sort of like acoustic and otherwise cuts on the tabs and around here. It's very open, sort of like almost like a little bit more of a skeleton plate, but not too much, I think. Well, actually a decent amount. And then let's see, we have, that's the USB for wireless if you want to do that. Hello, 2-1, how are you? And then here we have our foam, PE foam and plate foam. And then here's our PCB. So the PCB looks like we have a PCB that supports, you know, gasket mount. I believe the plate also supports top mount. And I believe there's also poron gaskets that allow you to do poron gasket sandwich mount. And so, you know, this is a hot swap PCB with magnetic small pogo pin connector, and then here a ribbon cable that connects to a small daughter board that also connects with a magnetic connector This, I believe, it would be towards the other part of the case. So, you know, layout-wise, so we can take a look. It supports, this is ANSI only, it looks like. It does not support ISO on the Enter key, step caps lock, split and regular backspace, no split right shift. We have split left shift available for those who need it, and then 625 and 7U bottom rows, and then the rest is fairly standard. And the Neo80 CU is a F12 style keyboard here. So that's what we have for the PCB. And yes, you can have an ISO selection indeed. If you want to build with ISO, then you would just select the ISO option for your purchase. Okay, so similar to previous Neo builds, I'm going to avoid using the phone. I think they tend to sound pretty good without it. And especially since we have the copper base, I think, on this one, the CU version, I think it'll be okay, but we'll see. We'll find out. If we need to add some foam, maybe you can do that later. I did open this up just now for the Insta post, but I haven't opened it. Oh my gosh. What color is this? Silver? Is this not silver? Okay, let's take a look. It kind of looks like silver, but might be a different one. Actually, it might not be silver. I don't think it's silver actually. Silver would have a less warm tone to this. So this color, it looks like this might be. Is this? Wait, is this silver or not? Actually, kind of confused by the color here. I'm still disappointed by the flex cuts in the alu plate. We can use a plastic plate today then. Oh, shoot, it's so heavy. Super heavy. It looks like we also have some case foam here. There's our copper exposed. Thoughts on the hobby becoming more kit-based and closed ecosystem and less open sourced? I think it's inevitable with the commercialization of things. I don't think so. The thing is, it depends where you draw the line between hobby and product. I would argue that if you really think hobby, like, there are things that are still relatively open source or relatively adjustable, you know. I mean, starting from the basis, right? Like, let's talk about like PCBs and programmability, right? Like QMK, it's fairly accessible. I mean, it's a lot, but it's accessible. And then going on to design work. Design work has always been a tricky point. It's not like we had open source everything from the beginning either, right? People decided to put open source under, you know, certain like Creative Commons licenses and so on, right? At times, but not all the time. Like, you know, it's certainly like some of the, you know, first well-known Korean custom cases were not open source. Or in the Western side of things, like there are standard layouts and things that have been replicated, but they are also not initially open source. It was maybe open source after someone replicated something and then created a standard by which we work with. Like, you know, for example, a primary example of this is PCB like layout stuff, like GH60 or you know, the GH60 replicated what was like the, you know, the poker, you know, 60% layout with the left side USB and standard standoff stuff, right? And all that stuff. But it was until the GH60 project was kind of like birthed that we had open source-ness to that. And same with, like, for example, the, you know, like Heinebush H87 style, which is like essentially the B, I think it was B style, but 887 layout TKL PCBs also was not initially open source. It was only until, you know, for example, you have the Atron project by Gondolindrim, which has some degree of open source as well, right? But the hobby doesn't have a lot, like that much open source. And so My opinion on it is that it's inevitable as, you know, people make money off of things and make products and things like that. So kits are bound to happen, and that's going to, you know, bound to close some gates. But I don't think it prevents anyone from replicating or reverse engineering a design, which is actually not that difficult. It's time consuming, but I don't think it's super difficult. Especially like when it comes to plates, for example, or PCB work. Like you start with something and then you build up from there, and then once you kind of get the hang of that, like doing different layouts is not nearly as difficult, right? People have to decide to whether, you know, they want for something to be open source or not. That said, the market has a range, and I think it is true that a lot of the sort of like more budget friendly range, especially like stuff that has been, you know, outsourced in China or like in other countries where things are manufactured, things have become more of a kit, like, you know, all in one solution where you just purchase from this one store or a set of stores, right? But technically you can't really like edit that design, right? So yeah, you know, reverse engineering like cloning, not necessarily. No. So for example, you know how there is, like let's talk about like the Heinebusch H87 style TK, like, you know, like Jane V2 style plate, right? Like the Koala plate, Whale V2, Jane V2 covers a ton of other boards, right? People use that same like plate layout, for example, but technically the first person who did it didn't open source it at all, right? It was like all the designs that came out afterwards were essentially derivative work, right? They essentially were like, that one was good, that one was cool, I'm gonna make one that matches that, and made it, you know? And there have been some people in that process who have released their own files. That's their own choice, but the prerogative was never there at the beginning. No one ever said, we will put things open source. It's an interesting topic though, with regards to like IP and like design and like what's sort of like reverse compatible and what is sort of like what is the right word for it? You know, like replaceable, you know, like you can have replacement parts more readily available and things like that. I'm new to the hobby. I'm a product designer for over 15 years, being able to 3D model and DIY electronics products. Also, keyboards hobby quite interesting with the access of 3D printing and CNC machining. Great hobby for designers and hobbyists alike to make their own keyboards themselves, or for new people to buy something to get in and then find their own way themselves. Yeah, that's really how this hobby has grown. It's actually been people coming in from outside and being like, oh, I want my own spin on this existing thing. And yeah, like people start from prototyping. I mean, sure, 3D printing and things like that have become, or actually even access to certain CNC techniques have become a lot more readily available and easier. But people have brought their own spin from their own like expertise and background. I would love to see someone streaming building a keyboard in 3D CAD like Gion in the early days. Certainly, I guess the reason people don't do the streaming part is probably because they themselves are not as interested in the streaming aspect, mainly like both the revealing their identity things, you know, like kind of like just having a full screen share of, you know, of Creo or SolidWorks or you know, Fusion, right, isn't as fun. But then if you like put yourself out there, then, you know, it's like you're putting yourself in the public eye. Not everybody wants to do that. Yeah. Seems like everyone makes their own PCB and plate. If you buy multiple keyboards, you need to reverse engineer a lot more now. That said, I feel like it's interesting, but like I feel like still to this day, like, well, compared to like the 2010s when I was still like, I was active in the hobby between 2016 and now, right? Between 2016 and 2020, in my opinion, plate files were not a readily accessible thing, you know? That was not even a thing. Period. Like, some people put, DXF files out there for certain things. Oh, side weight cutout thing, or like, duckboard inner weight replacement or whatever, But plate files? That's more of a past 5-year thing. Really. Like, people sharing sketches was pretty rare before. Genuinely. And I mean, open source PCB projects, I really don't know of that many. There's so few, right? So I think maybe it's also the distinction of the market getting bigger, and therefore it's like, relative to the size of the market, the amount of options out there that are, you can find in a file, or you can sort of like get the parts readily available, is a lot smaller, yeah. Because there's so much release now. There's so much out there. But hobbyist designers and just enthusiast-based designs, a lot of people do release still, like plate files and things like that. I think I personally would attribute a big chunk of things getting locked into certain design aspects. I think the idea of having a daughter board connector actually locked a lot of designs out in PCBs. PCB specifically, having a daughter board actually limited things, because, in my opinion, in some ways, because not everybody used the same daughter board like port, like essentially like the position of that JST connector on the bottom of the PCB, for example, right? And for example, that led to things like this pogo pin connector, right? For convenience. And things have changed, overall since then. But I do feel like the flexibility of being able to move your port anywhere you want has actually locked a lot of designs, because people have preferences as they design, right? But it's hard. There's no way to regulate it. There's no regulatory body to do it. There's no one to mandate it. There's no one to tell someone, hey, you gotta put this out there. It's a community effort, right? I do tend to find that with enough, not pressure, but enough insistence from community members, you do end up having people releasing plate files and being kind of like contributive towards this idea of collaboration and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, any creator, any designer has the right to reserve that from other people. Like, it is their creation at the end of the day. Anyway, got into this rant, so I don't mind cloning as long as you're not copying the branding with the intention of selling and stealing from the original designer or passing it on original. If you're doing to learn or iterate, I don't see the issue. So people do start from iterating on an existing item, right? I mean, if you're completely new to something, you might find solace in some way knowing that the thing that you're quote unquote duplicating is something that actually works. So, but yeah, the problem is, definitely there is a problem if your intent is to copy. If your intent is to not stray from that at all. If your intent is not to learn. If your intent is to duplicate, right? Like, completely different things, right? Like, if you're using it as a way to learn a technique in the process, cool, okay. But generally speaking, okay, this is the thing. I've seen people, both in the keyboard world, artisan world, whatever, talk about how they decided to replicate this thing to learn blah, 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 blah. First of all, why are you even talking about it? Why are you telling people that you did that? Like, are you like, why did that first part of the statement even have to be there? Why didn't you just say, I am learning CAD? Or I am learning how to cast or sculpt or whatever? Because if your real intent was to just do that, you would have said just that. You would have just been like, oh, I'm just sculpting. Oh, I'm just drawing on, you know, I'm just drawing, you know, computer-aided design like CAD, right? Like CAD drawings. Why do you have to say, I am copying this thing, what, like, I'm doing it step by step to do this exact same thing, as if that were the intended result? Are you, like, honestly, from a personal perspective, kind of dumb to say it even out loud. Like, why are you putting yourself in the public saying, I did this other person's thing? Like, hello? Anyway, I've seen people make this mistake. And then obviously, anybody who reads it is going to be like, oh, you're just making this because you lack creativity, because you don't have the balls to make something yourself and of your own, or to come up with something like everybody else before you actually did. Like, it's either laziness, stupidity to some degree, or like, you know, being naive about it, or purposefully deciding not to do it, to like, you know, to like either obfuscate something, or to say, you know, to omit that you could be doing your own thing, you know? And so I personally don't understand it when people kind of like say out loud in public, like, oh, I did this thing that looks just like this other thing that somebody else did. I'm like, I'm not gonna say congrats. I'm not gonna say congrats to that. It's like, great. You know, a 10-year-old can do that. They can follow step by steps, you know? Anyway. It's kind of like saying no, yes, no offense, but, or, I don't mean to be, and then they say that thing, and then you're like, hello? Why did you say it? Like, if you already knew it could be offensive, or be, like, rude, or, like, encroach on someone, why do you start talking? Like, shut up. Don't say it. Like, silence is golden. Anyway, I find it really funny. It happens all the time, though. I've seen it time and time again in the community. You know, people who are like, I'm learning how to sculpt and cast, and I made a copy of this existing guy's thing. I'm like, thanks for telling the world, and everyone's gonna doubt you now. And also, no matter how good your intentions are, it doesn't look like that was really your intention, and then everything just falls apart. Your argument just starts falling apart. So yeah. But yeah, don't put it in public that you did something that looks like somebody else's work. Don't do it. It's stupid. It's disingenuous too. And also, you're basically asking for criticism. You're literally begging to be, you know, to be told things. Just be honest and tell them you're straight up stealing. Yeah, I mean, we certainly have people who straight up just say like, yeah, I'm just copying this thing. Like K-Man is a good example, right? Okay, so this is definitely not silver. Which color is this? Sorry, I'm like not sure what color this is. Is this the Jade? I think it's either the Jade or the, is it green? No, this is not green. Is this the Mont Blanc? I think this might be the Mont Blanc color. Is this silver? What the fuck? I have no idea. It has a slight warmth to it. Okay, hold on. I need to show you guys. How do I copy image? Where's my browser, huh? It's like, it's a weird color. Hold on. Did I technically ask for a color? No, I didn't. I don't remember. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna. Is this the browser page? Yeah. Okay. So here they have the Jade right here. Oops, sorry. That kind of matches what I'm looking at. But I mean the green is so like not apparent. That kind of looks like the Jade. But is it the taupe gray? No, it's not as gray brownish as that. Right? Let's see. Where are the color lists? Where's the color list? Silver, slate blue, teal, black, taupe gray, dusty rose, jade, Mont Blanc, ruby rose. Okay, does it change? Maybe it is the Mont Blanc. Okay, it's not jade. The jade clearly looks green on this, and the taupe gray is definitely like a darker gray, which is like the gray gold that they always had. And this is not silver, so it's got to be the Mont Blanc. Right? I mean, is this? What the fuck is wrong with my lighting? What's color? What color is this? What color is this? Is this silver? Is this silver? Is this jade? Gray something? Okay, it's a nice color. It has a little bit of warmth to it. Is this the jade? Am I like tripping, dude? Is my lighting really weird? I don't think this is silver. I'm confused by the colorway. Oh, yes. Let me do that. So I pull up the browser and I have to be like, hold on. I need to take a photo of this. How do I meme this? Hold up. Okay. Let me show you. Is this a jade? Is this a jade? Take off shirt? What the? Whoa. Okay, so I think it is the jade. It is the jade. I think it is the jade. I see the green tinge. I see the green tinge at an angle. So this supports poron gasket mounting, silicone like little tabs, and then top mount. And as you can see, we have it's like the screwless type of design. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws attaching the top and bottom cases. Different from the Neo80, the first one that came out, which used ball clasp attachments for the case top and bottom. Can you show it next to your feet for reference? so that you can get a better idea of color. I see. Excuse me, but that doesn't come for free. Okay. And we have, that's the bottom case. It's pure copper. Well, you know. And then a very heavily smudged by my fingers stainless steel machined weight, but extremely heavy. A bit of a dirt or whatever on there. Oof. It's very heavy though. Frankly, how thin this feels, like thin as in like, you know, you can see this thing. You know, it's not very very thick, right? So when you hold on to this, it's pretty heavy, so kind of dangerous. So I definitely want to handle it with 2 hands. Interestingly enough, they have actually put information about the board on the underside. It says front height 18, EKH 22.2, weight 3.6 kilo plus, angle 8 degrees, material aluminum and copper, model name Neo80 CU. Pretty nice little thing. Ow. And shit's so fucking heavy. Whew, ouch. And then so they kind of have this little like moon sort of inspired little batch design. I'm imagining there's like an LED or something on there, because I see that there is a connector here. And the bottom also has this kind of like compass logo, which they've been using recently. That's like their compass base letter logo. Also a mix of copper and steel here. Whew, okay, and it's super heavy. Okay, very subtle colorway. Yeah, I do think this is the Jade. They technically asked me if I had a color preference, and I did say Jade at one point, but what happens when this happens is like they don't tell me like, oh yeah, you're gonna get that color. They don't tell me that. They just send. They're like, here's your tracking number, and I'm like, so which one was it? It's a surprise until it arrives and I open it up. So I actually don't know if they actually sent the Jade. I do think it's the Jade, but anyway. Okay, so for switches, I did prep some MX oranges that I had around. These are lubed with TriboSys 3204 and have the Syrian or KLC films and some Gone springs. So got some cherry MX oranges. And then for the plates, we have 2 different plates. We have the Alu plate and the Ultem plate, or the PEI plate. So I've never tried this material though, so I'm very inclined to try this today because I've never tried it. And so let's just try it. You know, I really want to try it. I'm sure everybody else does want to try it, and I'm sure everybody else will. But I think I'm one of the first few people to build it outside of, like, I mean, I think Patty was supposed to build it today. I think, did Alex build it already? I'm not sure. I think Keyrist also got one. There's a bunch of other people who get it. qwertykeys stuff definitely gets a lot of promotion. And so there's a bunch of other folks, but I haven't seen their videos and whatnot. So I'm assuming not too many people have built the Neo80 CU. So I'm excited. Check this out. Oh, Fedfeo, hello, or Fedefeo, I'm not sure what the right pronunciation is, but thank you so much for gifting a tier sub. Thank you, thank you. Also, have I missed anything? Hype train time? That would be awesome. I don't think I've seen one in a long time. Oh no, you you didn't have to. Thank you though. Audible Sam, thanks for gifting 5 subs. Fede feo by night, fede guapo by day. Arre. Alright, let's go. Alright, so we got some poron gaskets here. That's for the mounting, if you want to do gasket mount. Not quite enough to kick one off? Oh, really? I actually don't know what the requirement is. Does it say on my... I thought that was a setting. but hold on, I can check, okay? I'll check for you, because it's unfair that you're doing this and then it doesn't trigger it. Because I thought it was set to like whatever Twitch decides to set it. I don't mess around with these settings, so it's always a little like confusing. Where is it? Subscriptions? No. Hype train. Hype train settings. Enable hype train is on. Adjust. Oh, okay. I'll do autopilot. Autopilot sounds good. I don't know. Let it do its thing. Elquan, thanks for the sub. Thank you. It's not unfair. The support is the important part. Yes, of course. Thank you so much for the support. Here we have pretty dense feeling silicone gaskets. They have sort of a bifurcated slit here, where you put it onto the PCB, I think. Very dense. It's all Cole's fault? Is it Cole's fault? Why would it be Cole's fault? Okay, let's see. What are these? I'm not sure what these are. I'll take a quick look. There's only 4 of them, so I'm assuming they fit somewhere. I think these are the screws for top mount and some extra screws. And then we got some bump-ons over here. We can put the bump-ons on right now. Light bump-ons or dark bump-ons? I think light, maybe just based on the overall kind of going for the case. I'll replace them with the black ones when these get dirty or something. I'm not sure if I ever will, but yeah. I come in and Cole is wildin'. He's only just starting. Yeah. He's never stopped. Also, yeah. Hardly. Yeah, you're hardly starting. I know, Cole. I know Cole is hardly starting. We need to play twice for him to wild out? Wait, for real? Twice? I mean, I can play some twice. What twice songs do you like? Twice tour? Yeah, I heard people are like going crazy over trying to book. I mean, what do you want me to play? I mean, there's so many. What's your favorite album? Should I play an album? Or should I just play like a... Alright, fine. We can start with more recent stuff, right? Sub to Diego and got 3 months of Super Duolingo. Oh, cool! What are you gonna learn? Oh, that's nice. They're offering Duolingo now? That's pretty sweet. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so I think these are pretty good. Okay. All right, let's start building this up. Knowing that it's just a specialized alloy plate that has all the flex cuts makes me a little happier with this board. Still wish they kept split right shift. Oh. Oh yeah, that's true. It doesn't have split right shift. Are you a split right shift on a TKL type of person? I never split my right shift on a TKL, but I know everyone's different about this stuff. Is the music too loud, by the way? If it's too loud, oh, I lowered it like a teeny tiny bit. You think I can learn CAD on Duolingo, Diego? I wish, because I wish I could understand Kiwi's everything that he says. I just hung out with him on our little veranda. Where's a photo? This was us earlier. I was just chilling. And last night he was like this. And he is basically sleeping right now. Split right gives me somewhere to put FN without losing any of my precious keys. Ah, I see. Key maximizing. I see. Why not just get a hyper, what is that called? Hyper 7. Just get one of those. Then you don't have to worry about how many keys you got. That one has like, I don't even fucking know. Get a 21XX? That works too. That works too. Not a maximizer, just a lot of muscle memory on the 104 key layout. Oh, that's fair. Wait. That makes 0 sense. You have muscle memory on a 104 key layout and you want split right shift? Isn't that like what's not on a 104 key layout? I'm just messing with you, but technically, actually, 104 doesn't require FN. That's fair. But TKLs kind of do, I guess. I mean, for me, I barely have stuff on FN stuff, like on FN on a function layer on a TKL. There really isn't much on the FN layer for me for TKLs, which is why I don't split. And I don't really. I think aesthetically it just looks nicer with the full right shift. So. TKL is missing my numpad. Oh, okay, well. So, do you have numpad like the... Do you have the numpad set up like similar to the SSK or like the Real Force 87, where it's like in the middle right part of the alphas cluster, sort of? I've learned to make use of FN for a 108 key layout with media keys. Yeah, so I do have like media keys, like volume and media playback stuff on TKL, but I think other than that, it's like not much else really. I mean, I don't use caps lock on the main layer at all for any board. So I put caps lock on the FN layer, and then I have like, you know, other random stuff if I need it. There isn't really much other than the media keys and the caps lock though. What layout is the one you use the most and your favorite one? Personally, I use TKLs and 60s the most. It's kind of a crapshoot which one I use more. I probably use 60% more than TKLs, but I don't know. If I count like the hours of time I spend at work using a TKL too, it's probably a TKL more than I do a 60, but I feel like at home I'm using a 60 more often. At work, like for work stuff, I'm using a TKL more often though, because I also do need some of the F key shortcuts. I use J key to landmark the numpad 5 since it has a bump. Oh, that's fair. That's a good way to do it actually. So you landmark the 5 and then everything else kind of just comes along. That's pretty easy. I've moved my caps to FN layer and swapped to the control. I don't think there's any going back from. Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear. Okay. There's no better position for control. Literally isn't. I don't even understand why the control key had to be here. I don't get it. Like, unless you're like writing legal documents or some shit where you have to use caps all the time, caps lock does not belong on the base layer. Gotta run. Alright. Sounds good, Sam. Take it easy. 60 is enough for everyday stuff, but I like TKL aesthetically the most. Same. I do like TKLs aesthetically the most as well. I think there really isn't anything like a win keyless TKL, like look-wise. I think it just looks so nice. Your lurk is a vanish? Yeah. Do you remap your caps lock on Wickle Tickles? Yeah. Every keyboard for me, the mapping is the same. Caps lock disappears from here. Control goes here. My caps lock goes on FN plus tab, which is like what HHKB does. So FN plus tab. The only thing that's different on a 60 is FN is here on a 60. On a TKL, I actually put FN on scroll lock because I don't use scroll lock for anything. What the hell do I use scroll lock for? So I just put the FN key there. So I actually use right alt a lot. So you know, people say that they put their win key on right alt. I can't do that. I actually need the right alt a lot because for those who don't know, like if you type in other languages, they use right alt. Like international languages, like there's like, you know, like different like, you know, like the Romance languages. If you need to like access some of the like accents and stuff, you need to use right alt. For some shortcuts, you also need right alt. And for Korean IME, you also need right alt to switch between Hangul and English, or like, you know, Latin letters. So right alt for me is crucial. It always stays there. So for me, I put you could do FN on right control. The only reason on a TKL it doesn't go there for me is that I actually just don't use FN much on a TKL, period. Like I just don't use it a lot for me to justify putting it there. I don't really care that it's on scroll lock instead of you know, basically this part of the keyboard. On a 60 is a bit of a different story because you do use the FN layer a lot more for like arrow keys and stuff like that, or the F-row stuff. But for example, if I have a 60%, let's say I have a win keyless 60%, so you know, let's say I have a 60% that is one of those you know, fixed right shift, you know, full right shift, right? So full right shift 60%, then I will put the FN on the corner key on the bottom right, because the FN needs to be there somewhere that's readily accessible with my right hand. So I'll do that. But on a win keyless or like a, you know, like on a TKL, sorry, I just don't need it, so I just don't put it there. So one thing that for example, I do between like 65%, I put my FN on the right alt technically, because you know with 65% you get you know, control win alt or whatever, you know, like three corner key, like 3 keys on the right, on the left, and then spacebar, and then you get 1 key, and then the arrows if you have a blocker, right? So I put the FN on the right alt, but then the right alt for me is actually mapped to FN plus right shift, which is right next to it. So for me, using right alt on that on a 65% is FN plus right shift, which is very close to each other. So it's like pretty intuitive for me now. But that way I can preserve having a full nav cluster on the right column of a 65%, like, you know, having home, page up, page down, end, and then also still having a an FN key. Everyone's different about this stuff, but I definitely use 65% a lot more rarely now, just in general. But I do own 65% because I've collected some. But most used layouts and preference like layouts, definitely 60 and TKL for me. Like, I think if I had to choose one of the two, or sorry, one layout like that, it's either of those are fine. Equally fine. I actually wouldn't mind if I were stuck with TKLs instead of 60s. Imagine using 65s. I mean, most people do, right? So. But yeah, I switch like languages and stuff a lot during the day. And so like having right alt is like absolutely crucial. I think on Mac, like the language switch, I think is usually like command space or something like that. Or if you have that map to the what is that program, the one that does the indexing, Spectator, whatever that's called. Sometimes it takes over that shortcut, although you can rebind it on the Mac settings. So sometimes I'll just put it to control space or something like that. Something like relatively easy to access. On Windows, I think my like language control is usually like Alt Shift or something like that, you know, which I think has been the default for a long time. But yeah, those are some of my layout choices. Win plus spacebar to switch languages? Yeah, okay. That pretty much matches the command space thing from like a Mac. Because I also switch Mac and PC every single day. Well, actually, except for weekends, I guess, because I usually don't work as much over the weekends to justify being like, you know, to like switch Mac and PC as much. Because at home, like I have a home PC, which is a Windows PC, but then for work stuff, it's all like Mac. So and then for like certain things, I still use PC. So I actually have to switch back and forth between them every work day. So yeah, I guess the less friction there is between the switch, the easier. So yeah, it just kind of depends on the computer I'm using, I guess. But once you get used to like doing that, the whole switching computers, it's pretty intuitive, and honestly, really barely make mistakes when switching. Come to LA, I'll buy you a twice ticket? No way. For real? Will you? That's crazy. When is Twice going to LA though? When have I ever lied? January? Okay. Okay. I can look into it. I have to be honest, I haven't been to a... Have I gone to a K-pop concert any recently? I don't think so. Not recently anyway. What was the last one I went to? Don't remember. Might have been in Korea. No. No. I did go to a concert at some point. Haven't been to a K-pop concert in a long time though. I mean, it's for fun. Yeah. I like concerts, so that's fine. Okay, let us move on. If Kupo comes, I'll pay for him and his stay. Kupo, when are you pulling up, dude? Are you pulling up, Kupo? It's time. It's time, Kupo. It's time for you to make your appearance. Come on, chop chop. Chop chop. It's time. You have no excuses. No excuses, Kupo. Pull up. He is AI. Tragic. It's tragic. Hey, I got a text from my Kupo. I'm gonna read you something funny. I got a text from my friend. So I have a friend who is he's a resident, right? He's in medicine. And he sent to one of my group texts. I just heard an attending say, I predict AI is going to revolutionize medicine as much as email did 10 years ago. Email 10 years ago, and then said AI revolutionized medicine. So good. Oh my god. Can you believe this guy's an attending? Anyway. I that's all that happens in my group chat with my friends in medicine who just like, it's like overheard while doing you know, like while doing stuff. There's a lot of dumb doctors out there. I mean, I know. Email revolutionized medicine, but not 10 years ago. Not 10 years ago. This man's confusing. 10 years and like 30. Maybe the resident was delirious after a 24-hour shift. Oh my god. That sounds terrible. But I wouldn't put it past it, but I believe that they're in good health. I was 10 years ago? Okay. Alright, Cole. Sure, dude. Crazy. Wow, time flies, right? Time flies. So how's college, Cole? How are you enjoying school? You're college student aged, right? Not going? All these statements make me feel like I will pop up to LA in January, and there won't be a Cole appearing to greet me, and there will certainly not be a Twice concert for me to go to. If Cole is saying that he was 10 years ago, I don't think this is happening, bro. Professor Cole will greet you. Professor Cole. I'll get the tickets before you even fly out. You can bet I'll pick up. Ooh, that pickup at El Segundo. Dude, LAX pickup sucks. Like, not even kidding. Has it gotten better? I don't think so, but in my van at LAX, van? Okay, okay. Alright, let's test these stabs first. He will say he has Kupo in the van to lure you in. Oh boy. Oh boy. I love this song, Cheong. Only. Actually, is Twice your favorite group, Cole, or do you have favorites? Do you ever have favorites? I mean, I'm assuming you might, but some people don't. So. Nice, pretty good stabs, these Neo ones. Alright, stabs are pretty good. XG only? Anytime someone mentions XG, wasn't XG the group that Lydia was like a huge fan of? Is? Was it? I think that's right, right? Might be. Am I remembering wrong? Yeah, right? She did like this commission board. I remember watching the video. There's an XG board. Kinky ODM showed me. Kinky ODM. ODM kinky? No way. ODM is a saint as far as I know. Do not speak ill of my homie ODM. Don't hide. And I'm 18. Wait. You said 10 years ago you were 10, dude. It doesn't make sense that you're 18 now. How do you suddenly lose 2 years there? I don't think these twice tickets are happening. It keeps changing, dude. The goalposts keep moving. The goalposts keep shifting. It's crazy. We're struggling out here. So many lies. Yes. Fool me twice. Shame on you. Yeah, dude. Even for the presidency, there was a Bush twice. I'm a kid of my word. I have to say, this like ambery, yellowy kind of colored plate is pretty neat. It definitely has like the... It almost feels like polycarb, but it has a little bit more density. It feels a little sturdier than that. This like Ultem material. It's very interesting. Got to be careful. Twitch might nuke you. That's true. That's true. Suddenly can't say you're a kid. This guy Cole, man. Sorry, this kid Cole. Have you heard anything from Peaches, Diego? Is she okay? Nothing recently. There was that time she like appeared briefly, right? But I'm assuming she's just busy. I mean, that's my guess. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything since though, yeah. I mean... Right? I don't know. I haven't checked like the New Zealand server either. At least not recently anyway. But no, I haven't heard from her. Just wondering. Yeah. I mean, I wonder about it too. But I do remember she actually said that she was kind of phased out of the hobby, right? So she was just kind of popping in for a bit. But I'm assuming she's just busy with life. Don't you need an Aussie ID to join that? No, I don't think so. Isn't the New Zealand server just EPC server? Basically. Epsilon keyboards. Haven't heard of him in a bit too. Didn't know that? Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Gawk is also usually in there. You know, because they're all buddies. Yes, yes. There's this really one OS server that's really strict about members joining. Is it not so let me see. There's the Daily Clock server. There is the Keyboard Treehouse server. There's probably one of those, the Snacks one. There's probably one of those. Yeah. I mean, I imagine there's a bunch. But I think if you're thinking of New Zealand, though, I feel like it was always, like, FC was kind of the lead on that, I think. I thought so, but maybe I'm not super aware of all their, you know, Discord things. That's a few servers I was, like, in, or aware of, rather. I was not really active in them. I just wanted to follow to see what Epsi and stuff, you know, were up to. If you had a capability to force the hobby to stick to forums only back in 2020, would you do it? Forums only in 2020? Probably not. Because if 2020 had been forum gated, would we have had the same growth that we experienced in the hobby? I feel like the growth is fine for the hobby. I personally think it was a good thing. Some people find it a bad thing. Like, some people are like, oh, we should have gate kept harder or whatever. But, I mean, looking back, was it really a bad thing? I would say no. I mean, like, there were negative things about it, yeah. There were all these vendors popping up. There were all these things that happened. Yeah, that's true. There are some bad things, yeah. But would I really think it's bad? I don't think so. So I don't think I would limit it. I don't think so, at least. Sorry I messed up. Oh. These have a slight amount of scratch to them, and they're very lightly lubed. And they're also not like particularly the best batch, which is actually fine. Kind of nice to have some of that scratchy sound to them. Like, starting in 2020, if you could force a hobby to stick with forums instead of Discord, would you? Probably not, just because of what I said. It would have completely snuffed out the growth that we saw that the past 5 years. That said, I feel like a lot of things that we have now wouldn't be in place, and GMKQ would have gotten worse anyway. I think it would have gotten continuously worse anyway. I think that was inevitable, pandemic or not. I think it would have gotten worse and worse, just like SP got worse. Like, there was a time when, like, SA sets and stuff, like, were, like, like, the queue was so long, and, like, production time took forever. But that was SP, which, you know, yeah, sure, family business and all that. But, like, GMK, I'm not sure if it would have expanded if not for the complete blow-up it had during the pandemic era, which was also spurred by a mix of having all these people pouring in from everywhere. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I would stop it, at least. I can see some people being like, yeah, I would have stopped that. But I personally don't really think it would have been a good thing. Wow, another stream? Also, oh, I found Keycaps so intimidating when I start. I mean, yeah, it is. It is. If it's your first ever, like, BB code based, like, forum thing, yeah, it's intimidating. Yeah, I agree. It kind of sucks. But it really isn't so bad, though. That's the thing. Like, people figure this shit out. Regardless. Also, hi, Nine. Hello, Nine Walker. We are... Yeah, I'm doing another stream. This week's been busy because next week I'm not gonna be around. Or, like, you know, I have, like, a bunch of work stuff going on, rather. Technically around for some things, but yeah. Just kind of getting a bunch of stuff done. I dinged up my 2.1. My market value. Oh no! Wait, how did it get dinged? How did it get dinged? Do you just like slam it against like a desk, like the desk corner or something? It happens though. I've dinged up some boards too. Nightwalker, I'm so happy you're back in the Discord. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see you around. We missed you. We would often ask ourselves what you were up to. It's like, is Nine doing okay? Sorry, it's there's like some dust in the. Okay. How bad is the ding though? Nine. Like, is it like dented, crushed? You say it's a ding though. I guess it's not a dent. Ding and dent are very different things. I got tired of the O-ring, so I went to top mount and pulled on it, forgetting the wire, the DB, and dropped the top assembly on the bottom. No! Wait. You dropped the top assembly on the bottom. Which side? Which side of it? Was it the top side? I mean, I guess it would still ding on the like the edge part. Ugh. Damn, dude. It happens though. I mean, this has happened to me too. This has totally happened to me too. Alright. Luckily the ding is on the back. Ah, okay. Okay, good. Yes, you'll just forget about it. Happy living. Hakuna Matata. Or like the video I sent I sent Kim a video. Shit, I need to find it. Hold on. The not gonna ruin my day. Is this one. Let me. You guys know this scene? Okay, how do I? This. Oh, I need to. All right, is this one? You guys know this one?
What the? That guy's got horns. That's not normal. Oh well, not gonna ruin my day. What the? That guy's got horns. That's not normal. Oh well, not gonna ruin my day.
It's so good. That's my attitude to a lot of things. My attitude to a lot of things is, what the? That guy's got horns. Oh well, not gonna ruin my day. It's a mood, dude. You gotta just tap it out, you know? Just, it's not bad. It's Yu Yu Hakusho, yeah. It's Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah. Okay, so let's put this on now. Okay. Okay, let me, I'll play some other, play this music back. Is that Inuyasha? Oh, no. That's not Inuyasha. Kupo's 20 as we found out today. This isn't my ninja way. That's Cole? Cole is 20, 18, and maybe other ages, as we found out today. Cole is many different ages. So, yeah. Very believable. What the? Cole has many ages? Oh well, not gonna ruin my day. Cole gotta be an unk. Yeah, join the unk club. Apparently. I'm an unk. Alright, what's past unk? I have no idea, dude. I don't know these denominations anymore, man. I have no clue, bro. Like, what's what anymore? Alright, okay, so... Let's see, did I miss anything? Sorry, I'm just like taking a look at the Neo80 thing here. Yeah, so it has gaskets, we have the PEI plate now. Okay. OG? Oh. I see. What keycaps should we put on this? What keycaps do we put on this guy? Carbon CRP? That could be fun. It's an interesting color, this board. It's like has a greenish tinge to it. I thought it was, I think it's Jade, but it's kind of confusing to me right now. You know? Carbon only? You want me to put carbon on this? Orange Olivia. That's carbon, right? Actually, I need to test if it works, right? I haven't done that yet. Oh, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it connect. Oh wait, no, it turned on. But I didn't hear the... Huh. Oh wait. Oh my... Is this mapped already? Hold on. Is this pre-programmed or not? Where's the files here? We just have solderable. Yeah, okay. Alright. firmware. Okay. All right. Okay, I think it just wasn't flashed. Okay, I'm gonna flash it. Huh? Is that the right one? Oh, okay. Oh, it's one of those. Okay. Where did it download? Neo80 CU. Okay. That it? Okay, there. Let me try a different cable. Sometimes this cable gives me some trouble, so how about a different cable here? Doesn't show up. That's weird. This one's plugged in, right? Okay, well, we'll just put keycaps on and just try it out. I don't think the firmware matters too much anyway. At least right now. I think I just didn't flash it properly or something. So let's see. Modern materials, kaiju, wasabi. Those are fair suggestions. Let me put up a poll. I think I had carbon as well. I don't have modern materials. Modern materials. So that one goes out. Oh, actually, it looks like this cable is not plugged in. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. A key set that matches the batch. I mean, like 9009 could be nice with like the green accent, but obviously that's just beige, so kind of not as fun. If you want something more like exciting, let me see here. Key sets. Beta, yeah, beta could work. Could go with some color and try like camping or something like that as well. Dandy. I don't have the cream base. I have the green one. Where's Gorp when we need it? That would be a good set, actually. Gorp. That would be a nice set. I guess I technically have Verdant Retro as well. Which is really just beige at the end of the day. The green is so dark, it's pretty much beige. Just regular beige. I'm trying to look for other sets that would work well. Honestly, it's like neutral stuff. Or like, yeah, like, I mean, like the ones suggested. Wasabi. What did we just mention? Kaiju. Like camping, which also is like green, sort of like kaiju. No, Sandstorm, meh. Serica, okay. So Ursa could also work. Ursa. That's like a sort of subtle looking set. I think that works. That has like neutrals and then has some non-neutral part like accents to it. I think that's really most of it, right? And there's Zooted, I guess. Zooted has like green, kind of like wacky colors that would kind of be fun. All right, let's do a poll then. I'll just choose some from the chat and then some of the ones. Carbon, what was that? What's up? The kaiju. Wasabi. Lime? I do have lime, yeah, actually. I do have lime. Lime and maybe and Zooted maybe. That's adjusted. Alright, y'all. Vote. Vote. In the meantime, I think actually this cable I might have unplugged it from the back at some point. So let me see if this comes back on. Oh, it came back on this time. Okay, so flash. Okay, I paste the bin file, right? And it's gonna restart, I'm assuming. Then I need to probably re-plug it in. Yeah, not really popping up. Is it the cable? Let me try it like a extended cable here. How I vote? It's on the chat. It's the top of the chat box. It's right there. What do you mean you can't vote? Do you still not see it? Oh, where's that what was I looking for? I was looking for Zooted. Oh wow, narrow votes. Okay, Zooted. All right, let's try it. GG only one vote for Carbon. Damn, that's kind of sad. Carbon's a great key set. Can't hate on Carbon. I'm just gonna check if my cable is the issue. I did technically like flash it, but yeah, the flashing itself isn't working on this. That's weird. Although it doesn't look like the firmware. I mean, the controller is dead. It's just a file. Because it pops up. It pops up. Oh well. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really pop up. Okay. I'll relay about the firmware thing to qwertykeys. I'm sure they'll figure it out before it's out. Why is so good that emote? I don't know. Can you get rid of it, Kupo? It's so bad. Just Drua things? Oh my god. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna bring Zooted, right? I think I have it on my other board, so I'll be right back. While Kupo fixes the emails, I'll be back. Okay, so I just realized that I don't have zooted on me, because I think I borrowed it to somebody else. So I'm gonna get, what was the other set? Kaiju. I think Kaiju was the other set that the people were asking about. So I'm gonna go get that. Okay. Be right back. Get scam zooters? Yeah, sorry. I totally forgot. BRB. Oh, someone wants carbon? Bert wants carbon? Do we just do carbon? Alright, like we can do carbon. We can do carbon. I'll get carbon then. Alright. Carbon. Okay. I brought carbon. So let's do that. So I have it on this board. So I'm just gonna move it over to the other board. Diego's so zooted, he forgot he don't got zooted. Yeah. It's not that I don't have it. Someone's borrowing it temporarily. They wanted to color match something, so. Alright. NP in shambles. Double scam Diego Rama. Wow, that's a wild comparison, dude. That is crazy. I'm not, unlike Rama, I can't even fly first class or business or whatever. I actually, to this day, I've never been bumped up for flights, ever. Like, I don't know how people like have those stories where they're like, oh yeah, I got bumped from economy to like whatever, and then I'm like, I've literally never been offered this kind of shit. Like, what? How? Show us your sports car? Dude, what happened to my Type R? Okay, then Noxery. Okay, valid. I have fallen off from my bike, like my bicycle, but I did not break an arm or get a concussion. So, mind you, I am better than that. And if I ever designed a keyboard, I'm not sure if I would make it just a wedge. It looks nice though, granted. Got to go back to the Dream Lab? Yeah. Need to recreate my what was that? Luxury keyboard crafter era. Like need to recreate my moment. Yeah, I think it's too late. After I did that, I did follow the channel for a bit, and I noticed that they brought in some like really cool racers onto the show to host and stuff. It was pretty cool. And obviously they focus more on the car stuff, but pretty cool stuff. Civic with Rayito decals. Yeah, real. Alright, I think I got some carbon stuff. Got a cool little sleeve key over here. That should match pretty nicely. And then some orange wares. Let's see. Maybe this Arthur by Lazy Caps goes nicely. Gray. Yeah, here. I have a couple here that should go well. This Cosmo and maybe kind of tough. Maybe we'll go with this Bongo. It's not quite orange, but it's kind of close enough. Do you ever find out if they just mistook your logo for Lando Norris? No, I mean, did I never tell you the story of why I got to go to the Honda event? I was not the first choice, obviously. I was the one that was available for it though. They also at first they didn't necessarily know that I was East Coast based, but they were very flexible and nice about it after I told them I'm in New York, and they're like, okay, we'll fly you out. But initially they were looking for West Coast people because that's where their show was based, right? So they're looking for West Coast people, and but I was East Coast. And so they initially reached out to West Coast people, and I assumed they didn't get responses. All right, no need to plug this in for now, I guess, since I'm not sure why it's not quite working. Let's try this out though. So we have it in top mount configuration. This is the Neo80 CU. I will check on the weight of the board as well. Just give me like a minute, and then I'll bring out the scale as well. And yeah, so the top mount with MX orange switches on a full PEI or Ultem plate, kind of like this denser version of polycarb, I guess. And yeah, let's listen to it. Oh yeah, that's right. It's not working, so I'm gonna type random things, okay? I'm gonna type what's on the screen, and I'm just gonna type random things. Oh, looks like we just hit ads. I didn't realize the ads were about to happen, so I'll wait. But that was basically the typing sound for it. I'll wait for the minute just to get people back here, and then we will do mods and check out other mounting methods. So I'll just wait here. So you come here often? Yeah, just waiting now. All right. I think people should be back from ads. In just, do you leave alone? Excuse me. Yeah. Anyway. So this was are you open-minded? Oh, anyway. Okay. Sorry. Intrusive thoughts. Oh. Intrusive Hongdae thoughts. Yeah. So this was the sound of the Ultem plate with MX oranges. This was top mount. So pretty nice sound. Very clean. And the mods. A little bit of resonance on the top row and on the sides a little bit, but not too much. Frankly, the weight of this sort of like kills all those extra vibrations. But it's very, very heavy. Like, I can't emphasize how heavy this is. This is really hard to move on the desk. It kind of hurts my hands actually. Let me bring the scale and you can weigh it. But it's like so heavy. Where's my scale? Oh, it's right here. Do you like this more than Neo80? I actually have the Neo80 to compare with, so I'll show it to you. So, okay. So in grams, this is 4.3 kilos. 9 pounds and 7.4 ounces. Very, very heavy. I actually did bring the Neo80 from the previous iteration of this board. Essentially, so this is 210 bucks for a copper bottom. Yeah. How are they making money? Don't ask me. I don't know. Do not ask me about the business strat. But I assume they just produce quite a lot and assume that they can sell a lot too at such a competitive price. And they have seized the means of production, as I have mentioned in the past. If you seize the means of production, you may be able to cut prices like that. It definitely is kind of a tricky thing that's happening, but yeah. And I have here the Neo80. This is the first version that they had. This one weighs 4 pounds. 4 pounds and 7 ounces. It's less than half of what the CU version weighs. Christ, that's ouch. So yeah, big difference. Big difference. I guess machining is free. Yeah, I mean, who knows? So that's that. The build on the Neo80 that I did initially on this board, this was plateless, if I recall correctly. This uses the clasp, a ball catch mounting, and I built this plateless with GAT-X. I used GAT-X switches on this. This one sounded pretty nice. I remember back in the day when not back in the day, but back when I built it, this was quite nice. I think we put some die subs on this. So it sounds very different. Obviously, completely different build. And you know, kind of like the things to note is that things have changed in the design. Like the bezels are slightly different, as you can see. On this model, you had a slightly thicker back bezel compared to the front. The side bezels are thinner than the current iteration. There is a, I would say, much more notable amount of chamfer on the sides too here. You know, the what they did with the nav cluster is different, and so on. So this one is GATX switches with plateless and cherry die subs, so PVT keycaps for the most part. And so, you know, this is the back of this board, and this is the back of this board. So, you know, they changed the bump-ons. Obviously, this was like their, I don't know, like their weathered look or whatever. I forget exactly what it was. And then here on the Neo80 CU, we have stainless steel and copper pretty much for the entire bottom piece. The bump-ons are different. They're still adhesive. This one uses, and then, you know, this one has like all these like accents and going on. This one has a much kind of like angular look, whereas this one has these parts kind of curving in, mostly probably to help lift the keyboard from the sides. But yeah, plateless is hard. I mean, plateless is always pretty nice. I think I tend to really like the sound of plateless, right? So right now we have this built with top mount, right? And you know, this is how they look. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out for a second. A little nervous. Put it back in the case. Okay, so let's try the other mounting methods too. There is poron gaskets, and there is also poron gaskets, and there is also silicone gaskets. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have to remove these screws. I think there were 6 of them. One here, right? One here. And one on the sides. All right, so this is top, right? Yes, we just did top mount. Just now. We just did top mount. Okay. So I do think I need to flip this over and get the screws here. Sometimes these screws are a little stubborn, but it's fine. Got most of them. Okay, let's go ahead and get the top mount screws out. Apparently the new PFU keycaps are coming, maybe red maple leaf. Oh, interesting. Are you getting them? I don't know what it looks like. What do they look like? Is there like a link for that? PFU keycaps? Are they releasing more new colors? That's kind of nice. So wait, red maple leaves, so like red? Like a redder color? I hope they also release some blue blanks. That would be nice. Maybe in the winter or in this next spring, maybe they'll have blue. Like a lighter blue would be kind of sweet, I think. Baby blue. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing, though. I mean, it isn't that much, yeah, but it's nice. Red is neat. I wonder if they'll ever release an HHKB Pro 4. I'm not sure, Kupo. I feel like they already have quite a lot, like, that's pretty viable now, right? Like, kind of just works now. So, do you really think they would, you know, release a new board? Internal lithium ion instead of battery ward? Maybe, yeah. Although, I don't know. Well, yeah, lithium ion, yeah. I'm personally not that bothered by the back portion anymore. I think maybe it's just the time having passed. I just feel a little less strongly about it. But yeah. Alright, let's start with the silicone gaskets, which I believe just kind of slot into the PCB first. So these are symmetric. So they just kind of go on like that. I want studio with taupe. Do you actually like the design of the studio? Like overall? Like outside of it not being taupe. Like let's ignore the switch type. Do you like the studio? Funky? No pics yet, just official hints? Okay, I'll wait to see it. HHKB, well, PFU, well, specifically, HHKB US does tend to reach out to me around the time releases happen. So I anticipate maybe getting contact from them, but it's not always the case. Like, I think was it the dandelion ones? That was the dandelion was the yellow one, right? That one I didn't, no one reached out to me that they were releasing that, and suddenly they popped up. So, Okay. So these just kind of fit on the bottom plate like that. Bottom piece, rather. And the case. No, it's ugly, but I like the functionalities. That's fair. I actually use the studio for my like home TV stuff. The one that I got back then. It's actually pretty handy for that, like, like using it with like a computer connected to your TV kind of deal. It's pretty convenient. Like a media use. Cause it has the little mouse nipple thingy, right? So it's pretty useful for that. No need to have an actual mouse, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, it's convenient, but I feel like for what it is, you're fine just getting a Logitech wireless Bluetooth thingy, and that's like probably fine for that use too. So yeah. It's pretty. The studio is very expensive for what it is, right? Or relative to everything else out there. So. Okay, let's try this out now. I do feel like, to a good extent, we do cope pretty hard when it comes to taupe stuff, right? Like, because there never really was that many options for us to have for taupe, and so I think a lot of the community just kind of cope with what we have is good enough. Did I hear a keyboard for the TV? Yeah, because so we don't have, like, we have the TV, but we use like we plug in like you know, if we want to stream something from the internet, outside of the main like native TV apps, we just have like we have like a computer, like an old computer connected to a TV, like, you know, via like HDMI or whatever, and so you need a keyboard to, you know, access the computer stuff. So yeah, so we have I put the HK Studio for that use. I use Chromecast. Yeah, we had Chromecast too, but I you know, it was not my preference. So, but yeah, Chromecast works too. So, you know, it's like whatever. Cobra. All right, let's try this again. So this time we have it in. This is silicone gasket mount. Okay. So silicone gasket mount. Let me stop the music. All right. All right. Let's try it out. All right, so that is silicone gasket mount. Definitely a decent amount softer compared to the top. You can kind of tell. The spacebar still remains pretty soft sounding, but definitely a little bit more even in terms of like the like, you know, R2, R3, R4, a little bit more even out sound. Definitely on the more rigid end still. I would say like this mounting, you know, would work with a plateless configuration. I actually would say this would, you know, sound pretty good on plateless if you did that. So, you know, we did that. I did that on the Neo80 back when it first came out. I think this mounting with plateless would be pretty nice. Kind of, you know, decent amount of rigidity because the gaskets themselves are kind of rigid. Well, not super rigid, but, you know, they're like fairly dense. So yeah, still kind of like, you know, sandwich mounty for the gaskets. Okay, here are the mods. Definitely a lot of the resonance that was there in the previous mounting is gone. Probably because it's mounted to the bottom, so it just kind of gets absorbed, you know. And so, you know, nice and soft, but definitely a little bit more, maybe more on the muted side. A little hard to compare directly what's, you know, like A/B comparison compared to top mount. But if you want something that's a little bit more kind of like consistent throughout, maybe this is it. Top mount was pretty nice though. It sounded really nice with this particular plate. But I think my personal opinion would be to pair plateless with this mounting method. I think that would be kind of fun because it would add a little extra softness from basically not having a plate at all. So a little bouncy, but the gasket themselves still rigid enough to sort of give it some stiffness that's, you know, just enough for the sandwich mount to like feel still like solid, you know. So yeah. Does this have built-in force brake? Good question. I need to double check actually. But I also don't really hear much resonance from the case anyway. Like I feel like the case is so heavy, and I don't think there's nearly as much contact happening here that seems to be, you know, affecting the sound of it negatively. So I'll check because I'll be opening this again anyway. But yeah, as far as sound is concerned, I don't really hear undesirable like noise from it. Perhaps because the board is so heavy already from just the copper base alone. Copper base and stainless steel weight. It's super heavy. It is indeed kind of crazy though that they're selling this for like 210 US. Pretty sure it does. Yeah, okay. Oh, I think I forgot this screw, right? Yeah, pretty sure it does though. I mean, I think most keyboards these days do. Right. Well, I don't see them on here. Oh, I think I actually should have put them on and I didn't. Oh yeah, here they are. Sorry. So I actually didn't put that on, but there are these little pieces that I think go here. And even then, yeah, they go on the PCB actually. So they have little thingies for the, oh, it's just for the PCB to be held on, rather. So actually, not quite. No. But let me, oh, yeah, never mind. The case has it at the bottom of the top case. So let me check here. Let me show you. It's just not trying to not lose these screws, but yeah, the built-in force brake is already adhered to the top case. So sorry, just trying to get the screws out without losing them. But right here on the top case, yeah. So they have. It just looks like little, very thin foam with adhesive attached to the top case. So it's right there. Yeah. So that's essentially what the force brake is. Yeah. So it's already on there, so pre-installed, so you don't have to do anything. But I did miss these little PCB, you know, propping like thingies here. But I'll be honest with you, even with, you know, with both the top mount and the silicone mount that I just tried, I didn't feel like it was bowing in particular or anything like that for it to even feel like I needed these little pill shaped, you know, gaskets. So even if you didn't use them, I don't think it would matter as much. Maybe with the poron gasket, which I assume it will compress a little bit more than the silicone ones. Maybe that's more necessary in this case. But like I was not shorting. I mean, well, I wouldn't know, but I don't think it would have. Like it didn't feel like it was bottoming out. Rather, technically I don't know if it's actually shorting. So yeah, that's a point. So yeah. Because I'm not plugging it in, so I actually don't know if it's actually shorting. But yeah. Yeah, the gaskets are also pretty wide on this. So let's go ahead and now install the poron gaskets. So for the poron gaskets, looks like they have long ones here on the case. So the only thing about that I can see here from these poron ones, actually, are these poron gaskets adhesive? They're not. They don't adhere. They are actually just friction fit, I think, because they don't have adhesive on them. They're not adhesive. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of fit them into the grooves here. Yeah, they just fit into the grooves by friction. So that's kind of nice. That means if you're going from from let's say silicone gasket to poron gasket, and you say I don't want to use the poron, at least them not having to use adhesives means that, you know, it's not necessary to unstick them from the case. So that's kind of nice. They have these smaller ones that are going on the top case here. So yo, EPP, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, Evan? What's good, dude? I also realized I paused the music and forgot to turn it back on. It's probably because I don't have my IEMs back on. Keep forgetting what the music or background sound like. They're for sure taking a loss of getting something for free. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Yeah, I mean the price is so low, so I mean I'm sure they're taking some kind of risk there. And yeah, I mean, as I said, I think seizing the means of production is probably what's happening, right? Like, I kind of say that jokingly, but like, how else? Good, how are you? Demoing some tennis rackets tomorrow? Demoing? Demoing? Like you're getting like sponsored? Or are you just trying them out? New rackets that you just got in the mail? Like the alu stock cost that roughly alone? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're definitely talking math that simply doesn't equate to what their price here is. Like there's definitely something, but it's pretty crazy. This board needs Gorp. It would be nice with Gorp, yes. I do agree. Just trying different stuff before I purchase. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. That's fun. Are you good at tennis, Evan? I feel like you're good at a bunch of sports, right? Cause don't you play a lot of soccer, football? Have you guys still been playing? Yeah. Yeah, you know, my partner's been out this week, so this weekend including. But yeah, we've been going to the courts every all the other weekends, which is pretty fun. I'm learning. My girlfriend's cracked, so that helps. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, no, we're both noobs essentially. So, yeah. Nooblets. Let's get the last few screws and try the last mounting method with this PI plate, Ultem, right? Strip it out. Would you ever go to US Open? I mean, to watch? Yeah. Why wouldn't I? Well, the only problem is tickets can get pretty expensive, right? Going to the US Open can get pretty expensive. I mean, there's days that are better, but yeah, I mean, people. I mean, it was the talk of the town, right? Every time the US Open happens here in, out in Flushing, over here, it's always, people talk about it. Is plate the ambery color one? Yes, this is the PEI plate. Yes. All right, let's try this out this time with the poron gasket mount. So, gonna stop the music there for a second, and yeah, let's try it out. All right, so here's what it sounds like. All right, so there it is. Very nice sound. Very, very nice and clean. I'm not sure if I have a strong preference between the silicone and the poron, to be honest. I do personally think I am a little bit more of a fan of poron gasket mount sound in general when it comes to gasket mounts. I feel like silicone does sort of like mute some of the portions of like, either the upstroke or the downstroke, and so I do really like how the poron gasket mount sounds in general, and like across different boards. It's very very clean. It's very nice. It's like, okay, so stiffness wise, I feel like this has a little bit more give. It compresses a little bit more compared to the silicone one. Like you can see it give a little bit more. In the silicone one, it was not really doing this as much. So it definitely has to do with how compressible the poron material here is compared to the silicone one. I think the silicone one though would be pretty nice, again, as I said, with a plateless configuration. I think would kind of be pretty fun to try out. But yeah, no, I enjoy this too. I'm not sure if I prefer top mount over, like, for example, the gasket mount on this board. I do think top mount will have some, like, like resonance and top rose and all that. Maybe it's, you might find it, you prefer that characteristic. But I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I mean, I do think the top mount sounded really good with this particular plate material, though. I think it sounded like very, like, kind of like very clacky, very like, kind of like, like a very high contrast sort of sound, a very textured sound. That said, even on gasket mount, this sounds pretty nice. So, kind of depends on what your preference is. I mean, you can try all of them basically because it's pretty easy to swap them in and out. But yeah. But anyway, indeed, it's a keyboard. So, you know, there you have it. Okay. Hug Kiwi. Oh, Kiwi's sleeping. He, I'll take a picture from really far away and show you. He's like asleep. I don't think I want to disrupt him right now. This is him right now. Wait, wrong view. This is him right now. I'm not sure if I want to disrupt this guy. Waking up by giving him one of the treats. Okay, if he responds, I'll do it. Kiwi, you want a snack? Oh, he's out. Oh, he's out. Oh, wait, are you up? No, he's not. He's not in the mood. Oh man. Okay. No, he doesn't want to. I tried. Normally, so when he's not fully asleep, he'll be like, you know, he'll do the cat thing. But then right now he was just like back to sleep. So I think he's pretty sleepy. He was just like, what the fuck do you want? So I guess not today. I'll give you your points back though, EPP. Don't worry about it. Does he know the word treat or snack? Does he know the sound of the treats opening? He knows the latter for sure. Well, he's very particular, so he definitely knows which bag it is. Like if he won't react to every plastic bag or every can, that type of deal. He will react to a very specific sound, yeah. He does know the word, the S word. If I say it a certain with a certain inflection, he'll like be like much more, you know, responding to it. Like he'll respond to it a lot more, but he doesn't really react to treat. We say treat and he doesn't really react to it. But he knows the words. Like he knows like chicken or like dinner, you know, food, or not food so much, but like he knows like specific words. But it has to be like we like say it in a specific way where like he kind of reacts to it a little bit more. Sashimi. I've told you guys about how picky he is, right? So we took him once to Canada to visit like family, and so basically, you know, we gave him fresh, I think it was fresh salmon or fresh tuna, I forget which one it was, like straight from the supermarket. It was not pre-frozen, it was like fresh, you know. And he ate that. He loved it. And then the next day we gave him, you know, frozen and thawed of the same fish. And he would not even touch it. He would like sniff, don't care. He's picky. He knows what's up. He's like, this has been frozen once, or you did something weird to it. Not fresh enough. Don't want it. So yeah, he's like that. He's a picky boy. So yeah. But yeah. Alright, so let's show the rest of this keyboard, the Neo80 CU. It's very heavy. Our pets be eating better than we do. When it comes to certain things, yeah, I mean, he gets fed for free. We have to pay for all his meals and pay for ours as well. So yeah, he eats well. He has a good life. He has free shelter, food, and everything, all the needs covered for him, regardless of what happens to us, you know? So yeah. For real. So, okay, actually, maybe I'll use the overhead first. He's a lord. Oh yeah, he is very privileged. So let's take a look at the Neo80 CU. So right here we have our little moon sort of little, you know, badge sort of diffuser sort of thing. There's a little LED that goes on here underneath. And this is right now with GMK Carbon. I'm actually still not sure right now which colorway this is. Not 100% sure anyway. I kind of see a green tinge, so I think it's Jade, but it's not as green as the pictures, the renders, whatnot seem to indicate. So I'm thinking maybe it's Mont Blanc, but it definitely isn't like I don't think it's just silver. It's a very confusing color. You know, from I look at it from the side here, and I'm like, it's like silver, and then I like turn it around at different angles, and I see a green tinge on it, and I'm like, okay, I'm not sure. But anyway, the Neo80 CU, very heavy, heavy at around 4.3 kilos, and it has a pretty nice side profile, very clean, a full copper bottom with a stainless steel weight of various kinds that you can choose from. The price starts at $210 US, I think, on qwertykeys once it's open on October 10th. And yeah, so very, very heavy, nice board. Really hard to beat what they offer at these prices, obviously. Pretty crazy, to be frank. But you know, nice looking board nonetheless. They really have been putting some stuff out, some you know, heavy hitters into the market. And you know, you can see it from the side profile here, looks like that. We built it with the PEI or Ultem plate with MX oranges. And you know, if I were to plug it in, it would look something like that. Obviously right now it doesn't show up. I think it's not flashed properly. Just need to get the right file, I think. But yeah, that's the Neo80 CU. Very nice. Neo Ergo CU when? Who knows? Maybe they'll do it. I mean, they've been doing it with their whole line of boards, so maybe it's just a matter of time, right? So maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll do it. All right. So yeah. So right now with GMK Carbon. Nice and clacky sound signature to this board. Definitely, if you wanted to compare it with its predecessor, I have it over here. Comparison with its predecessor over here. Sounds different. Obviously, the builds are completely different. The predecessor also has different dimensions in some ways. You know, this is the Neo80. Actually, maybe better with the overhead. So, you know, I'm sorry, a little shaky. There's the Neo80 CU, that's the Neo80. This one's built with Gateron X switches, plateless. You know, both sound very nice. That's just generally the case. But yeah, they do have different look in general. You know, that's the Neo80, the first one. You got any SNSD songs in this playlist? No, because this was just a pure Twice playlist. So not on this one, but I'll probably do on. Let me find a. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, that's way older. SNSD. I need to look it up. Hold on. This one has some, but I need to like type it in. Anyway, and you know, you can compare sort of this one. You know, very different looks in terms of the bottom design, but yeah. Actually, I think I can just plug this in and use this as my keyboard for now, right? Unless, is it my cable? Maybe it's my cable. I have a weird cable situation over here. So for some reason, I think it's my USB hub too, but for whatever reason, it works with this one. Maybe the PCB is fried on both. Maybe it is. Maybe it is fried. I'm not sure though. Let me see. This one should have SNSD on it. Oh, this one isn't the one that had a bunch of SNSD on it. I mean, we can put some on. Which wow, I remember when this song came out. Man. Damn. Banger. Still sad my mom didn't let me go to SM Town in 2012 because it was on a school day. I mean, yeah, that's fair. 2012? Wait, 2012 and you needed permission? Oh shit, I'm old, huh? In 2012, I was not asking for permission to go to anything. I was a senior? Oh, okay, I am older than you. I always forget this. Not by much though, I don't think. Yeah, not by much. Yeah. 2012 I was a sophomore in college, I think. So yeah. You can guesstimate how old I am. Yikes. Wow. Toxic. Alright. But yeah, it's been a fun few builds the past few days. So here are the Neo80 CU and the Neo80. Alright. This dance break was good too. Definitely a throwback. Alright. Show off? I try. I don't typically show off, but if there's one time I can do it, I might. Try with 3? Just slam my head to the table. Or I don't fucking know. Too difficult. Alright. Shall we wrap things up here? I'm not sure if anybody is streaming. Let's go check. Let's see. I don't think... Oh, Bowl is currently live. I did not... I just can't... I just saw it. Yeah, Bowl is currently live doing a Synovia TKL. Alright. Alright, folks. Let's go raid Mr. Bowl. But as always, thank you so much. I will probably not be seeing you guys this week, okay? I have a work trip and stuff going on, so just kind of busy this week. So you won't see me this week, but the week after I will be coming back with obviously more builds. I believe on the pipeline we have the Machina Cloud 9 R2. I should also be checking out a sample of the Ursa Toper keycaps, Toper compatible keycaps that were made. They reached out to me recently about that. So I think by then I should be able to check them out. They're still, I think they might still be in transit. There is also the Qi65, QI65. This one's from Yan Studio and Unikeys. That one should be arriving by then as well. And there should be some more later in the month. But yeah. What color Cloud 9 you getting? I have the copper version, the full copper, super heavy. Should be that one. If that one I'm aware, but I don't know about the rest. All right, folks. I'll see you all later. I hope you take care and have a good rest of your weekend. Bye. Love you all. Bye.